But the first main topic on this live stream we're going to be covering is actually something really, really interesting. And it is about Caitlin Clark right here. You can see, obviously, this was the jersey retirement ceremony. And it was her leading up to that, finding out that Caitlin Clark, like Coach Jan Jensen was talking on Iowa Live, but Caitlin or Jan Jensen told them the day of practice, Caitlin Clark joining, they were going, what? Trying to keep calm, collective, and they had the best practice. Lucy was nervous, but was so excited. And again, like, obviously, some of the Iowa players were teammates of Caitlin. A lot of them weren't. And also the fact that we've heard that, like, Caitlin went out of her way to text Jan Jensen. Went out of her way to coach Jan Jensen before the USC game to let her practice with the team, or to let her practice the team, and Jan was going what, and her saying, yes, I'll be Juju. And obviously a video that has not come out yet, but I would assume this is very true because nobody's putting up freaking receipts for this if it's not true. As well as that, it is confirmed that Caitlin Clark did practice with the team and that Caitlin Clark was Juju on scout teams. And not only that, they won the game. They beat USC, who at that stage of the year had only lost to Notre Dame. I wish they released the practice video. And that is an absolute crazy one. Like, and that just sums it up. To be honest, I would say Caitlin Clark, as much as anything, just wanted to have it to work out. I actually think that Caitlin Clark probably was like, oh, I'm in Iowa. You know what? It's a better workout. If I'm Juju, they're focused on guarding me. I'm going to have a whole team guarding me. This is a great workout for me. There was definitely some form of, selfishness in that, but also it's going to help this team. And obviously what Caitlin Clark managed to do, or what Caitlin Clark managed to do on that day. Sorry, what am I talking about? Like, Caitlin Clark was there in attendance. And you could obviously talk about the Caitlin Clark effect and all that. But what the Iowa basketball team did on that day was incredible. Now, they held JuJu Watkins to the worst 27 points I've ever seen. Like, Juju did not play well. That 27 points was the fakest 27 points I've seen in my life. And Lucy Olsen had 28 and was the best player on the floor. The best player on the floor. Not only that, if you're looking at Lucy Olsen, she had 4 assists, she had 3 steals, and she did an unbelievable job guarding JuJu Watkins, who actually didn't have a lot of turnovers for her. Kiki Uriafen was being guarded by Sita Fulter. Fulter didn't score much, but didn't shoot the ball particularly well. 9 boards, 5 steals, and did an unbelievable job on Kiki Uriafen. Rhea Marshall, they kept her completely out of the game, and Rhea Marshall a lot better than, to be fair, we saw after Juju went down, she's a lot better than we think. And then obviously Addie O'Grady coming in with 13 points. Guyton was 1 of 9, which was typical game for her. Like, I think there's a lot of talent in Guyton, and I don't think Iowa was the right place for her. I do think her transferring probably will work out best for her, to be honest. Like, I just don't know with Addie Deal coming in how much she was going to play. And this is an Iowa team, by the way, that had not unleashed. They had not unleashed their freshman superstar yet. They had not unleashed the secret weapon that was Ava Hayden yet. Ava Hayden had not been unleashed by that stage in the season. And they still managed to go and win, which is incredible. And like, more so than that, like, it is crazy that we obviously are looking at Caitlin Clark when she had graduated from college. And I know it's a really common thing for a lot of pro basketball players, like, that they go back to where the colleges were to work out over the summer. Like, one of my former teammates coached for a summer in North Carolina, just as kind of like an extra coach they brought on to help with their team over a summer. And he was saying that, like, a lot of the former North Carolina players are there working out in their off season. And obviously Caitlin Clark stuck in Indiana. But the fact is she just comes back to Iowa and immediately is still trying to help that team. Just like earlier on in the season when Caitlin Clark and Kate Martin and Gabby Marshall were back, and straight away she was there at practice with them. She was at practice trying to hype them up. She was trying to hype up Hannah Stuelke, who I think I don't think Hannah Stuelke had a bad year, but didn't have the greatest year in the world. And it's just such a positive thing. It is such a positive thing. And it just shows again how important what Iowa did for Caitlin and what Caitlin did for Iowa. Like, that's something, there's a reason why Caitlin was seen as Caitlin. Like, she didn't go to a UConn. She stayed at home. She stayed she stayed at home. She brought Iowa, who weren't expected. Albeit Iowa were good. To say Iowa weren't good, like, you're acting like the year before they didn't have 2 years earlier, they had Megan Gustafson, who was obviously incredible. And then the 1920 season, they were still pretty damn good. Like, I'm pretty sure they had, if I'm not mistaken, who was it that they had? They had, I can't even remember what her name was, the point guard. The point guard before Caitlin Clark was like an All-American. So it's not like they were a bad team, but nobody thought that they were going to get like this. Nobody thought they were going to be this good. Kathleen Doyle, that was her name. They had Kathleen Doyle. But, like, if you could imagine what, like, Iowa would have looked like had Caitlin Clark been there with Meg Gustafson. If you could imagine what Iowa would look like. And to be honest, it's probably better for Caitlin Clark that Kathleen Doyle had left, so that Caitlin Clark wasn't going to have to play a lot off the ball. But just overall, the whole Caitlin Clark Iowa story, what Iowa women's team has done, effectively rendering the men's basketball team in Iowa the second most popular team in that college. Seeing Addie Deal going to Iowa and seeing all this stuff, like, you're looking at a team that doesn't pay players a serious amount of money, but is still in the running for a lot of top recruits. And yeah, just a crazy situation. And it's good to see as well Caitlin Clark doing what she can to give back to Iowa, because, well, yeah, like, what Caitlin Clark did for Iowa is something that no player can or will be ever able to replicate. But at the same time, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Good morning. But at the same time, what Iowa did for Caitlin Clark was they allowed Caitlin to be Caitlin, whereas I don't know how many college coaches would have done that. If she gone to Notre Dame, maybe, but had she gone to UConn where she wanted to go, Caitlin's going to be playing small forward while watching Paige Bueckers, while just playing in a system, and women's basketball is probably still back where it was in 2022, and I'm probably not making this video. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.